Here's your information for Dragon Genetics Worksheet number 3A, Do Your Ears Hang Low? So in this one, you're going to actually be able to take a look at yourself and see whether you are dominant or recessive for some of the traits. Now the way we're looking at this, it's assuming that we have one gene for each trait, which in many cases is true, but in a few cases is not. So we're just going to assume today that all these are inherited through one trait and go with it. So in our first one, SBT paper, taste the paper your teacher gave you. Now come to see me when you get to this point. I do have that paper, and yeah, you're going to love it. So sodium benzoate taste paper is used as a diagnostic tool in medicine. The ability to taste the chemical is a dominant trait. People who cannot taste this chemical are recessive for this trait. So in this first column, it's asking, are you dominant or recessive for this trait? Well, I've done it before, and I happen to be recessive. So I put recessive here. I'm then going to go to the next one, which is tongue rolling. Can you roll your tongue into a U shape like a taco shell? If so, you're dominant for this trait. If you cannot roll your tongue into a U shape, you are recessive for this trait. I actually have the ability to do that. You're welcome to come ask me and I will demonstrate. So I am going to put dominant. Now I'm going to go through, you're going to go through, this whole column on your own. And when you get to the bottom, if you took your time to read the instructions, it told you that 3B is on page S4. That's a lie. The information's here at the bottom. What you're going to do now is, following these directions, you're going to come up to this column and write the possible genotypes for this trait. So they gave us a nice little hint over here in the writing, the letters that we're going to use. And so in the SBT paper, we're going to use big T for taster, little t for non-taster, are recessive. I happen to be recessive, so that means my only genotype that's possible is little t, little t. In the tongue rolling, since I'm dominant, that means my genotype could be big R, or it could be big R, little r. Now, how could I tell which one I am? There's a couple ways. One is to have genetic analysis. We could do a PCR and search for those particular traits and see whether I am homozygous, which is where the two are the same, or heterozygous, where the two are different, and we could determine it that way. Or I could have kids and see what their traits are, and we could do some Punnett squares and genetic analysis that way. And so I'll check with my kids and I'll see where they're at, and I'll get back to you on that one. But that's how you're going to go ahead and fill out this worksheet. The first column is going to be dominants or recessives for you. The second column is going to be the genotype. Remember, if it's recessive, it'll always be little, and if it's dominant, it's going to be big, or big, little. You would literally write this in that column unless you somehow know specifically what you are. Thanks.